Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mercury Pro Team Know-How. I'm going to try to explain a little bit what I look for when we get to that post-spawn period. You know, for me, I think it's one of the best times of the year to fish, and my favorite way to catch them in that post-spawn period is when the shad spawn's going on. You can look for this shad spawn when that water temperature gets around that 70-degree mark. I like to do that with a spinner bait, a vibrating jig, a swim jig, any hard banks, riprap, seawalls, boat docks, tire reefs. If you see birds and they're lined up on a bank, generally speaking, that shad spawn's going on, and that'd be a great place to start. Now, the other things that I look for, offshore, those secondary and main points right outside of those spawning pockets. You know, it may be a main point right outside of it. You know, when I get to those areas, I'm gonna throw a few baits. I'm gonna throw like a Carolina rig, a football jig, and a deep diving crankbait. You know, I've always said the deepest a bass gets is right after they spawn, and then they start getting shallower as the year progresses. So don't be afraid to look out a lot deeper than you normally would, 20, 25, 30 feet. If you've got a clear body of water, they'll get that deep, and that deep diving crankbait like that dredger right there will be perfect for covering water and catching those fish. Lastly, the thing that I like to do if all else fails, I'm gonna throw a topwater. It's just the time of the year that a topwater really starts to shine. Just cover a lot of water, you know, a walking bait like this Jaywalker, a Chopo, something like that. You can throw it on the backside of docks, the front of docks, points, 45-degree banks. Just cover water with a topwater. That's when it shines. When nothing else works for you, try that topwater. So this is a prime example. I've got a spawning pocket right here. It's got two flats in the back of it. You can get everything you need right here. If the shad spawn's going on, they're gonna be on these docks. I especially like the docks that are out towards the mouth of those pockets because that's where they're coming. If that's not going on, look at these 2 points right here. It's a 7-8 foot flat right before it drops off into the river. That point right there, that point right there, those are perfect post-spawn points. That's where they're gonna set up, they're gonna feed, and these are perfect looking points right here in my mind. So in post-spawn situation, this water here is too muddy. I wanna have 18 inches, 20 inches of visibility to be out offshore cranking in that deep water. If I'm faced with stained water like this, that's when I'm up running those banks with those top waters. That's when I'm up looking for that shad spawn on those docks. Those are two scenarios. You know, the cleaner the water, the deeper they'll be. The muddier the water, the shallower they'll be in that post-spawn situation. So if I'm in stained water, you know, this is a point just right outside the pocket. That's gonna be a great point to throw your top water, cover a bunch of water, throw across the ends of them. You know, those fish are gonna be uptight, you know, feeding. I mean, right here, post-spawn situation 101 in my mind. This is a spot that I would plan or hope to catch some bass right here on this topwater. Hey guys, that's just a few tips that I look for and the baits that I use when I'm looking for post-spawn bass. That's your Mercury Pro Team Know-How tip. For more things like this, go to MajorLeagueFishing.com.